So for more on how investors should play these markets, let's hear from Christoph Riniker. He's head of strategy research at Julius Baer. He joins us from Zurich. So thanks very much, Christoph, for being with us. I'm constantly being told by portfolio managers that we mustn't analyze too much the moves on individual days in stock markets, but I wonder what you're reading into these falls that we're seeing in Asia. What does this tell us about what investors are hoping to hear from Ben Bernanke this week, what they expect to hear from him?
Well, basically, I have to say, after these numbers of bad news and falling markets going with them, we might expect to hear something from him. Whether it's QE3, it's another question, but now also looking after the Philly Fed, which has falling that much, basically pointing to recession. It's not a question whether there will be a recession in the end, but at least it points to, and the investor fears certainly go towards recession. I think that we will hear some sort of support next Friday.
You think we'll hear something from Ben Bernanke, but you think it's going to be short of QE3. Is that what you're saying?
Well, it's still difficult to say, as we know that there are expectations of some sort of QE3. We know that there could be other options, so for the time being to say what it will be is difficult. Our economists, for example, they don't go for a QE3 measure, but basically as just something else.
But Christoph, does the Fed actually even have any ammunition left? Is there anything that the Fed can actually do at this point to calm the markets?
Well, that's exactly the problem too last time in 2008, that there were much more possibilities to help the markets, and now they, as you said, they are in fact quite limited, and so that's the difficult task that you have ahead of us going forward.
I was speaking to Mikio Kumada at LGT Capital Management in Singapore last hour. He was saying, look, actually, the bigger problem, one of the bigger concerns for the market is Europe, and what Angela Merkel's been saying about how, you know, markets, guess what, you're not going to get a euro bond. So the problems here in this part of the world just don't seem to be going away.
Exactly, that's another point. I mean, we have now certain countries like Italy and Spain doing attempts to improve the situation. Whether it will work, it first have to be proved. But I think as well that one of the bigger problems is that there is not a consensus amongst all countries, and I think as long as we don't see this consensus, it can be quite hard and difficult going forward.
So if we look at...
And exactly, that's also the point.
So you're a U.S. and European developed markets man. What's happening right now? Are we bouncing along the bottom? Is there further to fall? The volatility, the extreme volatility that we've seen in the past few weeks, is that set to continue?
Well, from a fundamental point of view, we can say that there is still some value in the market. We have to admit that, but I'm also afraid to say that the investor sentiment is still so depressed and will probably depress for some more time. And the problem is that sentiment is currently ruling the markets. I, in fact, think that the markets will rather bounce around on low levels in the next few weeks rather than moving up steeply again.
All right, it's all about emotion and sentiment. That's Christoph Riniker there from Julius Baer for us. We're going to have to leave it there.